Go.
Got it? Go. I'm going to start off with a very complex question, but I'm sure all of you have thought of it. What do you want to do with your future? Maybe you want a job. Could be a blacksmith, could be a welder, could be a nurse, could be a doctor. Who knows? Maybe you want a house someday. Maybe some kids. You want to probably you want them to grow up in a safe neighborhood. But no matter what you decide to do or where you decide to settle down, it's possible that there's something that can risk all this for you. It's a very simple problem, and it begins 1,300 miles away. That problem is people illegally crossing the border. Illegally is a broad term. It's when the people are crossing the border and they're bringing drugs, money, and other people along with them. Now, I'm not saying that immigration is a bad thing. I mean, our country was built on it, but it was also built on rules and groups to enforce those rules. The main force is the Border Patrol. They started 90 years ago in 1924. Back then, it was just a whole bunch of guys on horses defending the border. And their original mission was to detect and prevent the illegal entry of aliens into the U.S. They just rode around by the Texan and Mexican border looking for people who are trying to get into the country. But they are best known for their traffic checkpoints. They have two main goals with these checkpoints. One is to detect the aliens crossing the border and stop them from traveling farther into the interior of the United States. Their second goal is to detect illegal narcotics. It's not just about people coming over, it's also about them bringing the drugs, them trying to take the money back from the drugs, and ruining our economy. Like I said, they started out with the horses and just guys going around shooting people as they cross the border because they just really did not like the people coming. Now it's a little more advanced. They have people on boats, they have 24-hour patrol, and they also have people right around bikes watching the border 24/7. The problem, though, there are an estimated 12 million illegal immigrants in the United States today. That is more than the entire population of Illinois. That is more than the population of Minnesota and Wisconsin combined, and is 4 times the amount of the population of Iowa. That is a lot of people that are just here and no one knows about them. The Border Patrol does do a good job of detecting these threats. In 2012, they arrested 364,000 people trying to come into the United States illegally. Last year, they caught and arrested 463,000 people. Now, while that's a good number, here's some more staggering numbers. In their quest on stopping narcotics, they seized 5,900 pounds of cocaine. That's a lot for cocaine, but they also seized 2.2 million pounds of marijuana trying to get across the border into the United States. And you think, oh, big deal, that's down in Texas, no one has to worry about that, it's 1,300 miles away. But in the Border Patrol station in Rochester, New York, they arrested 2,743 people who crossed the border from Mexico just last year. So they are getting into America and spreading out. So you think, okay, that's still New York. I mean, there's a lot of people up there and no one's going to know about it. But what's this got to do with you right here? Like I said before, you probably want a job. And those 12 million people who are coming into America, they took 8.5 million jobs away from the middle to lower class in the span that they are here. That's a job that you could get, a job your kids could get. It just affects you permanently. They're not paying taxes because no one knows about them. They're just making money, taking it, and some of them are sending it back across the border in Mexico. And then you're like, maybe you can get a job. You probably want a house. For every person who comes across the border, they need three things. They need land for a house, they need food, and they need water. All that requires land that is taken away from you and your family. Now let's just say you get a job and you get a house. If you want a family, do you really want them growing up in a bad neighborhood where there's cocaine and marijuana coming up from the border? The easier it is to make cocaine and marijuana through the border for them, they're going to try and do it. If they can take entire semi-loads up through the border, they're going to try and do it. You don't want marijuana and cocaine where your kids are trying to grow up. So in conclusion, there is a problem that we need to face. There's 12 million people here that no one knows about. They're not paying taxes, they're not doing their civic duty. And it needs attention. They're just wandering around, no one knows about them. They get benefits from the government, and the government doesn't even know that they're illegal. They're just getting workman's comp, and other benefits that are used for good Americans who were either born here or came here legally. And it can affect you. They can take your jobs, your land, your house. It can affect your family and your neighborhood. Thank you.